All right, well, welcome back to Exhaust Sports Auto. My name is Kevin, and you are here to witness the 2020 Lincoln Corsair, the Reserve model with the 2-liter motor in it, and it is front-wheel drive. So, who do we have to thank for this little video? Well, it is actually Capital Lincoln of Cary. So, Capital Mazda, Capital Lincoln, they're like the sister stores to each other. So it is actually, once again, Will Rodden who has helped us get this vehicle for a review. Will Rodden does actually sell the Lincolns and the Mazdas as well. So if you would like to purchase this Lincoln or any other Lincoln or a Mazda, you can hit up Will Rodden. His information will be down in the description box below. So with that, let's go ahead and let's get started with this little Lincoln Corsair review. So why this Lincoln? Why am I reviewing this? Well, I was recently here. Well, let's start off with what this is, actually. So the Lincoln Corsair is actually a Ford Escape underneath. So before you click away, before you lose all hope, let's listen here and let's see what this has to offer. So I had the Ford Explorer ST as a press vehicle, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit disappointed with the quality of that vehicle. So then I came and test drove a Lincoln Aviator here at this dealership, and I was far more impressed with the Lincoln Aviator. Actually, every single issue I had with the Ford Explorer had not only been remedied, but it was like 100,000 times better. I mean, I couldn't even believe that they were the same company, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So, already, the smoothness of it. I mean, by the way, I haven't even driven a Ford Escape, and honestly, I don't want to, because I already know that this is going to be the far superior car. I mean, you cannot believe that they're the same company, like building. If you told me that this was the underpinnings of a Ford, I could not believe it, because the Aviator was amazing. It was so smooth. It was, honestly, I would take that over some of the German competition, just because of how smooth and how comfortable it was. And I feel like this is going to be a similar thing, except this is going to be far cheaper, and it's going to be a lot more economical, far easier for a lot more people to manage, and that is why I'm checking this vehicle out. So, about the Corsair, it is about 181 inches long, so again, not very large at all, actually. It's actually very similar to the Volvo XC40 I kind of reviewed for you guys a while back, so I feel like this is kind of in line with that type of competition, maybe like an Acura RDX, something like that. But one thing I have to keep in mind, this is the Reserve model, so please go on their website, either Capital Lincoln or like the actual Lincoln website, and spec it out, kind of play with the options and stuff like that, see what's most valuable to you. But this thing is MSRP like $49,000. Now that's a lot of money. However, I think this is a perfect kind of lease option for a lot of people. Obviously they incentivize these things, but the leasing is, I think, where this really comes to life, I feel like. So that's why I'm very interested in this, because it has a great Dita swagger to it. I mean, it looks very similar to the Aviator, even though it is like a front-wheel drive architecture versus that rear-wheel drive architecture vehicle. The flowing lines, it is so smooth, it is so nice, so I really do appreciate that. Another thing, I'm really beginning to appreciate the thrust out of this vehicle, which I'll talk about in a bit, but yeah, the value proposition, I feel like, is the Reserve kind of trim starts off at $42,000, and that's fine because you get this Revel audio system. That was the primary thing. That's really why I wanted to check out this Reserve. That audio system is actually really tremendous. Nothing, again, like the Ford audio systems. This is far superior to that. So garbage roads with these idiots. I mean, this thing is riding beautifully. This has no air suspension or anything like that. It's actually a strut-based suspension up front and a multi-link in the rear, and it's coping extremely well. So the more base model Lincoln Corsairs are actually also a pretty good value, because these things start at like $36,000. It's just like and that's a pretty good price. I like that price point, but it's just like once you start tagging on the options, these things can get pretty pricey. So the main thing you guys are probably wondering about is actually the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder engine that's turbocharged, which produced like 295 horsepower and about 310 pounds-feet of torque. Yeah, that's not what this is. This is the 250 horsepower and 280 pounds-feet of torque. But again, this is more affordable, the more economical option, and I think this is one that most people are going to get, so that's why I'm testing this out. So let's kind of get into the driving aspect. So one of the things I really like about this is that this doesn't feel strange at all to drive. Again, this is I haven't driven very many Ford products, but I can guarantee you, I'm sure this is nothing like that. If you are a Ford fanatic, you are going to absolutely be blown away by this, actually. So that's another great thing. The steering is nice and smooth. It's like everything is smooth in like an electric fashion. There's a little bit more float to the brake pedal. That's the only like kind of thing I've noticed. The actual stopping power is very good. This thing will get up to speed extremely well, but it kind of like floats and hangs there, and it takes a little bit more to bring it to a stop. So that's the only thing. But that initial bite is very good. Again, calibrated very well for street driving, actually. The smoothness, this comfort, it is just so good. The primary thing though is you do have that slightly higher like seating position, which I like, which I think many of you will like because that's why you get an SUV, obviously. The other thing is it doesn't feel humongous to pilot around the road. This is actually a very good size. It's like you can easily whip this, you can easily place this. It's a nice little city vehicle, similar to the Volvo XC40, except this particular vehicle has a little bit more heft to it, a little bit more of that luxury demeanor to it, but with that American swagger, if you will. If you don't know, I'm a little bit of a sucker for American luxury, little Cadillacs, little Lincolns. I like that swagger, that American kind of presidential swagger. It's just something that it's a unique feel, a demeanor that those German cars or Japanese vehicles don't have. It's a whole nother feeling altogether. And these Lincolns, finally, it's not a huge and ridiculous compromise. Like, yeah, a lot of people, they like the American feel and stuff like that, but a lot of the regular brands that are not luxury branded like this Lincoln, they just don't feel that good. But this is so comfortable, so smooth. It kind of wafts away. It has a very nice kind of like wafting sensation. It just glides over the disgusting roads I'm on right now. It's just great. I absolutely love it. No real complaints here. Side view mirror's a good size. You can see all around this vehicle. It's like a fishbowl. And you have that sensation that you're in like a proper SUV, if you will. The other thing, this car is extremely quiet, double pane glass and all that good stuff. I mean, again, the attention to detail that you're just not going to get with a Ford product. You know what I'm saying? This Lincoln is just next level like that. So it's far more in the realm of like a Lexus RX in terms of like quality like that. Yeah, this 250 horsepower, this is great because it's not peeling out everywhere. And let's test out the handling real quick. Obviously, this will not have the same level of, proper chassis that a German vehicle will have, but it's still that plushness, that kind of slight roll that this thing has. It's not a ridiculous amount by any means, but I'm just saying that's what gives it that comfortable aspect to it. So, once again, test that out a little bit. It's highly controlled, but you do feel a little bit more of a plowing sensation. But again, those are the qualities that give this vehicle that plush sensation and ride, which I absolutely love. This is like the epitome of what like a luxury car should be, and this is doing that. Again, this is the front wheel drive model, so more power is actually being sent to the actual wheels of this thing. The traction control is not ridiculous. I do have the traction control on right now, and it's calibrated so well. Nice little city car, dude. I really like this. Yeah, it's not even the all-wheel drive model, and it doesn't get like, super ridiculous on me. You almost don't need the all-wheel drive for handling purposes. Certain cars, like I remember the Hyundai Santa Fe, it's another, nice, quiet little SUV that I really liked. However, I almost definitely recommended the all-wheel drive if you wanted to get the turbo model because it always plowed around everywhere. It just, the handling wasn't proper, so the way it was like distributing power wasn't very good to the front wheels, whereas this is doing absolutely an excellent job of distributing power to those front wheels. It's if you don't live in a ridiculous inclement climate, you can confidently just skip the all-wheel drive, get this front wheel drive version, and it'll perform extremely fine for everyday commuting. These are on the 19-inch wheels, 225 wide tires all around. Again, the ride quality is very good. There are 18-inch wheels on option, so you can further get slightly better ride quality if you so choose. It does come with 20-inch wheels on option as well. I would skip those because these 19s look very good, but I'm assuming those 20s would still ride very good as well. This is a very good car in terms of ride quality, refinement, all that stuff. It's very smooth. Again, I don't think the handling is quite as up to snuff as like a German automobile, but it doesn't need to be. This is more so of like a Lexus, but like an American version of that, if that makes sense. Yeah, the brakes, like once you really get into them, it'll give you some nice quality stopping performance. That's not an issue at all. Steering isn't super ridiculous. There are these little modes that you can play with. I mean, you can put in these excite modes, and oh my god, there's so many modes with this thing. I don't like the amount of lag that you have to experience to go through those modes is not even worth my time, really. I just like cruising around in the normal mode, really. 8-speed transmission is doing an excellent job just hiding those shifts for me. I'm not even feeling this transmission so far. It's just been very plush experience. There are these little plastic paddles which don't even bother with it. This is a nice little cruiser, nice little highway cruiser. That's what this is. Even with all these monkeys on the road, it's doing an absolutely excellent job of keeping my blood pressure low. I said this about the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. Yes, technically you can get a Honda Accord which handles slightly better. However, no car in the mid-size segment really lowered my blood pressure like that Sonata. And much like that, this Corsair is doing an excellent job of lowering my blood pressure as well. It's just nice, calming, and sedate. Well, traffic has come to a complete stop, so it's a good time to maybe stop talking about the driving segment. I really like driving this vehicle. It's nice and plush and very easy to pilot around. The interior space. So you have to think there's got to be some type of cost cutting somewhere with this vehicle. There's some hard touch plastics being used. However, it's in places where it will never bother you. So that's good. They were intelligent with that. But this interior is, again, far superior to anything you'll ever get from Ford. Not only in terms of just build quality and just solidity, but nice little soft, supple leather materials being used for like the armrest and all that stuff. It's a very nice and plush cabin space. These seats are doing a great job of keeping this vehicle nice and not fatiguing, essentially. These seats are, the way they do the seats is a little bit strange. It's kind of like these nice plush like leather pieces kind of attached to like this plastic backboard thing going on. Kind of interesting, but again, it kind of sort of reminds me of like a Volvo, actually, except again, this vehicle has a little bit more of that plush sensation to it, not like light and floaty like that Volvo was. This has a little bit more heft and a little bit more of that American quality to it, if that makes sense. But yeah, hard touch plastics, in the lower parts of the vehicle. They kind of did this thing where they try to mimic Mercedes with the seat controls. The ergonomics of this car, it's not bad. It's just you have to get used to it. It's different from like the normal cars that you're used to. Like the seat controls are up here. You do have 3-way memory seats, which is great. Being the Reserve trim, you have plethora of quality features in here, the heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel, all that stuff. The steering wheel itself, I love gripping onto this thing. It is a high quality steering wheel. I like this two-tone finish that it has, a little beige with the black. That's nice. Okay, nice turn in. It has like that pivoting sensation, which I like. It's just that the chassis isn't rock solid, but again, it doesn't need to be. It's going for that plush demeanor to it. Anyway, so yeah, the steering wheel, it's like the perfect size. Again, very easy to drive, nice thickness to it. The tactility to everything is very nice. Everything you interact with is very good here. That all has a nice quality sensation to it. A nice little piece of wood running around in the interior here a little bit, but there is a lot of piano gloss black plastic being used in high traffic areas. That's the only real negative I found with this vehicle in terms of the interior. There's also this little scratchy plastic thing going on. It's a strange material to use, but whatever. Again, it doesn't really bother me all too much. At the slower speeds, I am detecting a slight little rattle coming from the front like hood area here, but it's not too ridiculous. It's kind of gets droned out with the air conditioning sound, I suppose, but whatever. Yeah, so coming to a stop here, talking about this interior. Nice one-touch automatic windows for all 4 windows, and it's like nice soft closing, soft opening, all that stuff. I really like that as well. Nice little quality sensation there. Got your little lock unlock buttons, your little mirror controlling buttons right here as well. Very easy to access that. Great amount of space in the door pockets as well. That's fantastic. You easily fit large water bottles in there. That's not an issue at all. These doors have a nice quality feel to it. They just feel phenomenal to open, to close. It's like the perfect weight. It's not ridiculous. These doors aren't massive, so it's like you can be a smaller individual and easily like grab it, close it, all that good stuff. It's just a nice little practical whip in those ways. So I just really like the proportions of it, size of it. It's just very good, and that's why I was very interested in this, because it's a little bit smaller than that Aviator, a lot easier to manage for more people. Again, that nice big Revel audio, speaker grill thing going on. There's a legitimate audio system. I do like that. Very high quality, worth getting. That's why I said that the kind of more base Reserve model is a good idea. And again, you can save some money if you skip the all-wheel drive and stuff like that. And if you don't need it, if you don't live in that type of inclement weather, that's a good thing. So you can kind of get away with the smaller engine option. I feel zero issues with this engine. I never once lusted for more power in this thing. So if you do go for the more powerful engine, you will get all-wheel drive as standard. So it will kind of sap some power that way from the driveline. But again, it'll be a more capable machine, if you will. Other nice little features like automatic headlights, you know what I'm saying? So that just turns on for you automatically. Another thing, the chimes and all that stuff, that also has a premium sound to it, if that makes sense. It's like, it doesn't bother you, it doesn't annoy you, and Fords in general don't beep and annoy you that much anyway, but you know, when this thing does beep, it's just like, you know, nice subtle sounds, just nice little attention to detail stuff like that they did with this Lincoln that I really appreciate. Just, it feels like an actual like luxury vehicle that is actually worth your money, worth leasing or something like that. So I really appreciate that. These things are rated to get like 22 city, 29 highway. I'm getting about 21 average, you know, driving kind of aggressively, you know, aggressive city driving. So, you know, very good fuel efficiency for a vehicle like this with this power output and all that good stuff. I do like it a lot. This little bezel-less mirror, that's always great to see. Like I mentioned, the heated and cooled seats. Again, high traffic area, a lot of dust and debris being shown here, but whatever, it is what it is. Cooled seats work perfectly. I love the gear knob thing that they have. You know, it's an electric switch. However, they did this piano key thing. You know, that's how they kind of designed the gear selection unit thing that they have going on here. Very, very nice. I do like it a lot. All kinds of little buttons and stuff here that you can play with. It's a little 8-inch screen. It's not the biggest screen in the world, but I don't mind it at all. It works far superior to the kind of, what do you call it, that Ford Sync crap. You know, this is far quicker to react. It's like a cleaner layout. It's like, it's amazing what little things do to a vehicle. I mean, this is pretty much a Ford Sync screen. However, it's so much more high quality. I said this in the Aviator review as well. This is just so much better in every conceivable measure. Now, there's a lot of little menus and stuff you had to go through, but for the most part, I can get used to this. I don't mind this. It's not ridiculous. It's not perfect, but this will work. And the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you have that as well with the screen. It's just very good. There's a slight amount of lag. Not a big deal, though. Totally tolerable. It's this center gauge cluster screen that really has a lot of lag, especially when you go through the different modes and stuff like that. That gets a little bit annoying. It's like not even worth my time to play with that. You have these nice quality controls on the steering wheel here. These little, I don't know what these things are called, little pads, little dials, I guess. Once you get used to them, it's not bad, but there is a getting used to here. It's a little bit of a learning curve. That's the only thing I didn't like. But, you know, once you have everything kind of set up, it's not too bad. You know, it shows your fuel economy, all the important stuff that you need to know. Just something you have to get used to. Nice little camera system here. It does have a little 360 camera as well. It's a little optional extra. Practicality wise, I like the way they divided up the storage spaces here. You have a nice little storage cubby up front, electric parking brake thing, 2 little cup holders, and the center armrest opens rather wide and is actually a decent amount of space. So it's a decently practical car. Glove box is slightly decent size, a lot of space taken up by the books there. Panoramic sunroof, like I mentioned. The rear seats, you know, I'm 5'11". It's very easy to get in and out of this thing. You just slide your tush in and out of this thing. That's another reason why a lot of people like SUVs. Very easy to get in and out of. So I understand that, especially if you're a little bit older. The rear seats, I can definitely fit behind myself. A lot of toe room back there. And the headroom is actually pretty good as well. If you're over 6 feet tall, you know, watch out. Just try it out for yourself. It might be slightly difficult, like if you're 6'3" or 6'4", or something like that. And you have the driving position set the way it is. This is very good for 6 feet and under. This is perfect for you guys. You can set a very small human in the middle, but otherwise, seating 5 is going to be a little bit of a stretch in here. Might get a little uncomfortable back there, but you can recline those seats. It's very good. Again, the same plush seats continue back there as well, so that's great. Trunk space is also very good for the people who are going to be buying something like that. It's a very practical car. Again, it's not the most lavish amount of space, but it works, you know, and you can fold down the seats and all that good stuff. It's very easy to do that in this vehicle. 60/40, of course. There is a spare tire back there as well, so that's also very good. So yeah, overall, nice little cabin space, practical whip, perfect size, I feel like, for most households. You know, for most family cars, it's going to be a nice little prestigious vehicle, smooth car, spacious enough to grab the things that you need, has all the kind of features and tech that you would ever want in a car like this, you know, all the heated seating controls and all that good stuff. Nice little infotainment that'll do the job. Nice audio system. All that good stuff is here. Capable on road. Safe to drive. Doesn't peel out on me. Doesn't do any weird behaviors or anything like that. It's just a nice quality driving experience. So I appreciate that. I haven't mentioned this. Vehicle weighs about 37 to 3,800 pounds, whether you get all-wheel drive or not. That's really not bad. Under 4,000 pounds, very good. So it's not a hugely massive thing in terms of weight. So that also helps with the fuel economy as well. And that's why, even though it doesn't have the most insanely tight, rigid chassis, it doesn't need to, because it's not lugging around a ridiculous amount of weight. So that's good. So yeah, as a whole, Lincoln Corsair, quality object, something worth owning, something worth leasing, something to look into. Again, I'm going to leave all of Capital Lincoln's information down in the description box below. Check out their website and all that good stuff. Let me know if you want me to review another Lincoln. If you're interested in this car, if you've owned this car, let me know your thoughts as well. So with that, that will conclude this review. Thank you again for watching. Take care and goodbye.